So some facts about Wikipedia. I would love to know, but I know it's hard. Uh, how many humans do you think are currently writing Wikipedia in 2026? Next slide, please. Spoiler. It's about 300,000 volunteers around the world, and they are all creating a curated bibliography of certain topics because no Wikipedia article can be written without sources. Next slide, please. This is the case of Susan Barnum. She's a public service librarian at El Paso Public Library in Texas. And instead of just creating a bibliography, some patron asked her for what are the things someone should read about Chihuahuita, which is a border neighborhood in El Paso. So it's a very specific topic, right? But instead of just giving those books to her patron, she decided to add those sources to Wikipedia. And even though it's like a super specific topic, Chihuahuita, a border neighborhood in El Paso, because Wikipedia is one of the 10 most viewed pages in the world. Next slide, please. These sources were engaged, about 20,000 viewers have engaged with that bibliography. Next slide, please. And it is not just the people that come to our website that are consuming Wikipedia, but also, as you may know, one of the main sources of ChatGPT is Wikipedia. And so it's the same case for the Google summaries. Next slide, please. But unlike the content in AI, which seems like you cannot influence, you can influence Wikipedia, and then you can influence the outputs that you get from chatbots. So as you may imagine, also I would have loved to ask this question to you all. Where do you think writers or, the volunteers that write Wikipedia come from, are normally from? And the answer would be, well, normally the global north, that is the US, UK, and so on. But I see in this chat that there are people from Ghana. I heard someone came from Iraq. And I know from the participants list that a lot of you come from India and other places. And your voices are the voices that we want. Your sources, your research is the research that we want. So, Wikipedia can be more diverse. So, next slide, please. How can we do that? How can we integrate your voices, or how could you add those perspectives to Wikipedia? I'm going to show you how you can do this with care. Next slide, please. As you saw in Jessica's first slides, one growing metric are altmetric, and I'm super glad to see that state journals have this as well. And Wikipedia has this one greatest weight in altmetric. So mentions in X have a weight of 1 and Facebook of 0.25. But if you have a citation in Wikipedia, that has a greater weight. And there's a reason for that. Next slide, please. So, before I go there, the reason why Wikipedia has a better weight is because there are a lot of careful, a lot of policies that prevent just any research to be cited in Wikipedia. Editors in Wikipedia are very careful that the research comes from trusted sources, from peer-reviewed journals, and mostly, if there was a question in the chat, can you add preprints? Well, Wikipedia is not a great place to add preprints. Basically, the type of research that stays longer on Wikipedia is things that have been peer-reviewed. And now with Wikimedia Enterprise, which is the interface, or rather the service that the Wikimedia Foundation gives to AI companies, So everything that gets scraped is scraped through Wikimedia Enterprise has a quality scoring model for references so that the AI output will surface the sources that come from trusted journals, for instance, all the ones in Sage. So that means that if you add a journal article that was published in one of these journals, they are more likely to become part of your ChatGPT answer or Google summaries. So please, next slide. Now, as would happen with anything that you publish, Wikipedia takes a lot of care or the policies of conflict of interest. And next slide, please. And if you only add your research to Wikipedia, that might not be seen as a good thing by reviewers. So it could see as you being just promotional about yourself. So in the same way, next slide, please, that you wouldn't add only self-citations to anything that you're writing, and you can check the art of referencing, a great source on how you should be careful with self-citations. In that same way, we expect you not to only add references about your work, but also about the work you know that is relevant for a given subject. Next slide, please. So how can I do it? Okay, I know I can't be self-citing myself all the time. I know that this will benefit thousands of humans around the globe. How can I do this? Next slide, please. A fun way to start is with this tool called Citation Hunt. So if you go to that address, citationhunt.toolforge.org, you will see this game that can be, it's in many languages. So if you speak Spanish, Hindi, Malayalam, you can just change the interface to whatever language you speak. And what you will get are parts of Wikipedia that require a source. And the interesting thing here, next slide, please, is that it's not just about any article, but you can be very specific on the areas in which you are an expert. So for instance, maybe you write in Sage Journal on environmental health insights, and so you are an expert in waste management. So you can start typing in that little box, waste management, and then you will get a bunch of paragraphs that require sources, that need sources. Next slide, please. So for instance, here, I'm not an expert in waste management, but luckily my uncle is. So I asked him about this particular case, and I was wondering, that there's this page on biogas, and this statement required a citation. Next slide, please. And he provided me with this document, which is all about biogas, and it was written by a very trustworthy institution, GIZ, sorry. And he gave me exactly the thing that I should say about biogas and so on. So next slide, please. Then, next slide. I read the Wikipedia article. I saw the part that required a citation. I rewrote that paragraph so it was factual, and it was, referring to the source I just gave you. Next. So I rewrote that paragraph, and the way you add a citation, if you see those quotation marks there, that's where you click, and you can say, okay, I'm adding a website, a book, a newspaper, or a journal. And I selected journal because this document has an ISSN, and I added all the information. Next slide, please. And now that paragraph, as you can see, when you add journal, it tells you all the parameters you need to fill: last name, first name, source, blah, blah, blah. But the good news is that if you're citing something like a Sage journal, which has DOIs, next slide, please, you don't need to fill all of that. The only thing you have to do is add an automatic citation. So for instance, there was another document I saw that require a citation, and I use one article from Sage. I only wrote the title, and because it has a DOI, all the metadata was retrieved automatically. So I could say that there's this 2025 study in Ethiopia, which concluded that agroecology and temperature significantly affects biogas yield, the quality of biogas. Okay, so cool. I've added a citation, and next slide, please. You're always asked to add a little, next slide. Thank you. A summary of what is that you have added. So I said, okay, I added information with a reference, and I did this in a campaign. Actually, it was perfect, this timing, because now the One Lib One Ref campaign is going on, which is a campaign that calls librarians and other specialists, so you, to add sources to Wikipedia. And you can actually win prizes and everything. So it's a pretty cool thing. And you can connect with people worldwide. Now, as Jessica and Katie were saying before, you should try to reach people in other languages. And the cool thing about Wikipedia is that it exists in more than 300 languages, and you don't have to do it yourself. So if you add your information to English Wikipedia or Spanish Wikipedia and if it's a relevant topic, it is very likely that your article, that article will get translated and your references will be taken into those other languages. So for instance, I wrote the Wikipedia article on the writer I wrote my bachelor thesis about, and now that article is in Georgian. So, like the references I added are now in Georgian, and I wouldn't have ever expected that to happen, but it's the magic of this wonderful open community. Next slide, please.